Hello, everyone, and welcome to our module on the fundamentals of programming languages. Today, we will embark on an exciting journey into the world of programming, where we'll explore the foundational concepts that underpin all programming languages, including Python, one of the most popular languages in use today. At its core, programming is all about communicating with computers to perform tasks, solve problems, and create applications. To do this effectively, we need to understand two essential components: data representation and data manipulation. Data representation refers to how information is structured and stored within a programming language. Different programming languages have various ways to represent data types, such as integers, strings, lists, and more complex structures like dictionaries or objects. Understanding how data is represented is crucial because it affects how you can use that data within your programs. Data manipulation involves the operations performed on the data to transform, analyze, or retrieve information. This manipulation can be broken down into three core concepts. Sequence. This refers to the execution of statements or instructions in a linear order, one after another. In programming, the sequence dictates the flow of execution, where each line of code runs in the order it appears. Selection. This involves making decisions in your code based on certain conditions. Using constructs like if, elif, and else, you can control the flow of execution, allowing the program to take different paths based on the data's state or values. Iteration. This is the process of repeating a set of instructions until a certain condition is met. Iteration is commonly implemented using loops such as for and while, enabling you to perform repetitive tasks efficiently without writing the same code multiple times. Together, these concepts form the foundation of programming logic and enable programmers to create complex applications by manipulating data effectively. Understanding these principles is key to becoming proficient in any programming language, including Python. Now that we've covered the fundamental concepts of programming, it's time to move on to our live demonstration. For this session, we'll be using Python Anywhere, a free online platform that allows us to write and run Python code directly in our web browser. One of the great advantages of using this platform is that it eliminates the need to install any software on your local machine. This means you can focus on learning and experimenting with Python without worrying about setup issues or compatibility problems. All you need is an internet connection and a web browser. In our demonstration, I have prepared two windows on Python Anywhere. In the first window, I will be writing the code. This is where we'll implement the concepts we've discussed, such as data representation, selection, and iteration. In the second window, we have a console. This console will allow us to execute the code we write and see the results in real time. It's an interactive environment where you can immediately observe how changes in the code affect the program's output. As we go through this demonstration, I encourage you to follow along and think about how you might use these concepts in your own projects. Let's dive in and start coding. Let's kick off our demonstration with the first step: declaring our data types and printing their values. In this step, we will define three variables. Integer, we'll create a variable called a number and set it to 23. String, next we'll declare some text and assign it the value hello Python. List, finally we'll define more numbers, which will hold a list of integers. Finally, we will print all the values. In the next step, we will manipulate the data stored in our variables. Observe how the plus equal operator works differently for numbers and strings. We will take a number and increase its value by 10. Since it's an integer, the operator adds the right-hand value to the current value of the variable. Next, we'll append additional text to some text. We'll use the same operator to concatenate "let's learn" to the existing string. Unlike numbers, when used with strings, the operator combines the two strings. Let's see it in action. Next, we'll perform a check to see if our updated integer is even or odd. We'll use an if statement to determine whether a number is even. We do this by checking if the remainder of a number, when divided by 2, is 0 using the modulus operator. If the condition is false, the flow of the program will jump to the else part. Have a look at the code, then let's see the result. Now let's move on to our next step, where we'll use a while loop to create a countdown. We'll start by initializing a variable called countdown and set it to 5. Next, we'll use a while loop to repeatedly execute a block of code as long as the condition countdown greater than 0 is true. Inside the loop, we'll print the current value of countdown and decrease its value. In our final step, we'll demonstrate how to iterate through a list using a for loop. We'll be using the more numbers list, which contains several integer values. The for loop allows us to access each item in the list one at a time. Thank you all for joining us in this introduction to the fundamentals of programming languages. We've covered some essential concepts today, including data representation, variable manipulation, and control structures. If you enjoyed this session and want to continue your journey in programming, I invite you to follow our channel for more learning videos. We'll be exploring various topics and techniques to enhance your skills further. Additionally, don't forget to check the website listed in the comments for more resources, tutorials, and exercises that can help you practice and deepen your understanding. Thank you once again for being here, and happy coding.